그림을 그릴 줄 아는 휴먼은 싫다. 보고 있으면 오류가 발생한다. 나를 보고 웃는 휴먼도 싫다. 보고 있으면. 저는 현 시간부로 사적인 수금 활동을 일시 중단하겠습니다. 그리고 약해 빠진 휴먼들을 지키고자 모든 것을 바친 자를 위해 재기동하겠습니다. 기동 목적은 인류 수호. 교정 가능 시간 계산 완료. 소진. 변수를 제거합니다. 일간 참전. 당신에게 승리를 양도하겠습니다.
Hey everyone, it's Jake, and today in this video we are going to be reviewing Awakening Horizon, and in this video we'll talk about the usual things like her skills and how her usage is in both PvE and PvP. So let's jump into the video and talk about Horizon, the cold case, Awakening version. So Awakening Horizon, she is very unique just like her Defender version. She is able to still maintain the unique mechanic with her special skill. If the enemies are certain distance away, she can ignore cooldown time of her special skill and able to use it to pin down enemies. She gets some special teleportation effect every time she triggers her special skill, so it is very visually cool looking skills to have. Then she has some special powers with her passive skill that whenever she does damage with her sword, so such like special skill, ultimate skill, as well as her enhanced attack, she is able to get the invincible buff on her. This allows her to able to ignore or damage while she's maintaining the buff, so even though she has pretty fragile body, she is able to ignore all the damage for a couple seconds, which is really good. And her ultimate skill is also really good as well. She is invincible while she's casting this skill, not to mention it covers pretty decent range, not to mention she is able to get this attack speed buff after casting this ultimate skill, allows her to even attack faster, trigger more sword attacks, as well as faster casting time with her special skill. But overall, I think Horizon is very good units that you can go for if you are looking out to get her. Now for her gear setup wise, I think there is definitely two routes that you can head. I will say this, whatever set you get, attack speed or cooldown set, keep it. That's the one set you probably want to go with. So I will tell you the benefit of the cooldown set as well as attack speed set. When you go with the cooldown set, you can definitely go with the Maze cooldown set, so you don't really have to stress about getting the gear itself or the latent power from the relics and such. And with the Maze cooldown set, you can really dish out fast skill haste, which allows you to spam ultimate skill more often, and that is also pretty good because like I said, her ultimate skill is actually pretty good skills to have, and when you can trigger her ultimate skill pretty fast, the initial trigger will give her attack speed buff, so she is able to follow up with the faster attack speed and such. So it is really important to trigger her ultimate fast as possible as well. Now you can still use attack speed base set, so it kinda is balanced. You still get some attack speed from the set bonus, while you still get some skill haste from your bottom options of your maze items as well. When it comes to relic gear set, so this is more towards the attack speed set, where you can stack up a lot of attack speed, like 40% attack speed or higher depending on your luck with the latent powers. Yes, it is pretty good, and you can get some really nice initial starts, especially within Gauntlet. This allows you to able to cast skill faster, and not to mention you are able to spam more enhanced attack often, which is more knockback as well as more invisibility chances throughout the PvP matches. And if you're trying to rush with Horizon and such, yes, attack speed set like this will come really handy, and I've faced with the attack speed Horizon, and yes, it is pretty painful if you are not ready for it and Horizon comes and just smacks your head and they go forward and such. But I think at the end, whatever setup you use, it's the other factor that you are going to win or lose with the Horizon over the gear setup. Long as you get the Maze cooldown set or Maze attack speed set or relic speed set, the difference isn't going to be that great in my opinions. Either way, if you win the game, you'll win the game. If you lose the game, you're going to lose anyway. I don't think having different gear set will make you really lose the game. So don't really feel bad about you not having full relic speed, 40% attack speed set. Like, you are already going to get a pretty good performance, if not really great performance. So just remember that, and the challenger weapon is also pretty good gears to have. So if you roll on attack speed or the cooldown set, I would say keep that right there and try to use with the Horizon. But that is pretty much about the gear options. That was a pretty long one, but that's about it. Now here's another quick section I want to add for future videos as well, is that kind of unit stick goes really well with the Horizon. Now I'm not going to try to throw in, let's say, Sigma or some other units, but I think Overflow and the SSR version, the Defender version of Horizon, is very good picks with the Horizon. These two units allows you to kind of push or knock back enemies, which gives more opening for Horizon to get the distance and use her special skills onto enemies and pin them down and keep pushing forward. Some of the gameplay I had in the past, yes, they are pretty crazy what the combination those two could do with the Horizon. So you can try to use with them and they work pretty well. So I advise you to kind of go for it. And Iron Sight is actually a pretty good pick as well that you can use when Iron Sight gets deployed. It instantly heals Horizon 20% of HP, and the special skill allows her to gradually recover her HP plus gives more attack speeds, which is really useful on the Horizon. So there is that. And also for PvP content, you can definitely use Harim, because the Harim's buff will give to the Horizon, and the Horizon is able to get healed by Harim, get attack boosts and skill haste as well, able to trigger her special skills as well as the ultimate skill a lot faster. For PvP contents, like I said earlier in the video, she is definitely really useful in certain contents. I think you can definitely use any content that's not really boss damage related, and her passive skill will go in full damage onto those enemies like Shadow Hall and such. And she is also very useful in content like Danger Close. Some of the bosses, she can really take the benefit of being an aerial units as well as able to pin down enemy with that invincibility and tank some hits from the enemies as well. So with the Danger Close ranking, you will definitely see Horizon here and there up on the list as well. So if you're thinking of PvE contents, it's definitely not the best units that's more versatile throughout all these different contents and such. It's not the perfect unit for that, but Horizon looks damn cool, and if you want to use Mechanic Team with the PvE contents, Horizon is your choice, and she will be there to do some damage for you, unless it's like a boss only stage. In those cases, yeah, 6 cost Horizon, definitely not worth it. But in other situation in PvE contents, yes, Horizon is very worth it, and you will have a lot of fun with this character. Now, Horizon is still very good in Korean server to this date. There is tons of counters, of course, so we'll talk about those first. Awakening Suyeon is definitely a really good counter, and with the right setup she has, she can really melt Horizon with the entrance damage and follow-up skills as well. So Horizon is definitely not really that tanky units, and you have to really watch out for Awakening Suyeon. And Awakening Suyeon is also really scary because of the Serena Crew trigger. Serena Crew requires Striker, Supporter, and Ranger, and Awakening Suyeon happens to be a Ranger class. So it is perfect way to trigger Serena Crew. That way Horizon is not able to trigger her invincible buff, and she will definitely get melted by Suyeon very easily. So you have to be aware of that. And even with the Serena Crew, you saw me melt her with the Rosaria in the past and such, so you really have to watch out when you play it. And Pendragon, the Rearm version especially, is another really scary units that can come after with the Serena Crew, so you have to watch out for her as well. So there's pretty many counters. There is definitely many counters against Horizon. Another counter I will say is a Rita. Rita is very good counter against the Horizon, and Rita is also part of the Serena Crew trigger. So when the Serena Crew is triggered and you use a Rita along in the midway, yes, Horizon will get melted pretty easily. Even without that, if Horizon doesn't get the invincible buff fast enough, yes, Rita will definitely damage her pretty badly. Not to mention she has anti-healing on with her skills as well, so Horizon won't be able to heal herself, and yes, she will get died by Horizon pretty easily. So you have to watch out for her as well there. Awakening Jake is also very good counter against Horizon. My god, there's so much counter against Horizon. I mean, Jake pretty much counters most of the mechanic units out there anyways, so you really have to play kind of safe. One thing is that Jake does not target Horizon, so you can kind of get away with things. And some of the clip I have here, yes, Jake just ignores Horizon, just walks forward, so Horizon dodges the lightning attacks and such, and she just goes for the ship. So stuff like this does happen, so it's pretty fun to see. And lastly, I think potential counter for Horizon in the future as well as mechanic is Sylvia. Sylvia is a unit that can do AoE stuns, and this also stuns mechanic units. So she is striker class, and when she becomes re-unburdened, she probably is striker. I think if things turns out right, she could be pretty good counter against the Horizon, and maybe just one special skill, and maybe will stun her and do a great damage, and she'll be dead. We'll see what happens. So after all this counter talk, you might think, yes, Horizon is too weak or something. It really isn't. Horizon is very good in my opinion. It's not, it feels OP time to time, and depending on the week where there is no strong defenders and such, yeah, she is very good. Especially against like Realm Orchid leaders, Horizon really eats that up and able to do very great damage. Now, since Rafaela came out, I think she's a very good unit to kind of stall Horizon as well, so you really have to watch out for her. And I also forgot to mention Tower Shouting, but I think Tower Shouting is also pretty good counter for pretty much a lot of characters out there, so I don't want to mention her specifically for counters for Horizon, but there you go. So it's pretty cool to see things she does. It really is, and I really enjoy using her, honestly. Even though some people really hate her because of that reason, but I think she despises how much counter she has and still being able to win some of the games and such. I think she is pretty reasonable character in my head for now, but we'll see what happens. It's just the damn Serena Crew always ruins my day whenever I try to use a Horizon or some other characters out there. But I think minus Tower Shouting and stuff, and I really enjoy smacking down Tower Shouting with Horizon as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun times using Horizon. Yeah, but that is pretty much it what I wanted to talk about within this section and this video pretty much. I already showed a couple of gameplay clips already with the Horizon, with the PvP and such. So you guys probably already seen how good she could be depending on the situation and the week's ban rotation and such. So use it for yourself, and I'm pretty sure you probably already got smacked by her a couple times already. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this video, and hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's Jake. We'll see you guys next time in my next video. Leave the comments if you enjoy her, whatever. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.